Hey, my name is Mike, and in this video, I'm going to talk about one of my favorite ways that people can make money online. So in this video, I'll demonstrate how you can earn thousands of dollars per month, tens of thousands of dollars per month, scale even beyond that, and work as your own boss doing whatever hours you want. And like I said, there are so many ways to make money online, but this is one of the ways that we feel you have a really strong advantage because it's a very low overhead cost. The only real barrier is the idea, the mentality that a lot of people think it's difficult to do, when in fact it's actually not difficult to do at all. And I can show you everything in this video. And of course, you get a tremendous return on your investment. The profit margins are astronomical compared to pretty much any business out there. So this could be full-time or it could be a side hustle. You could start as a side hustle and scale it to full-time. But what we're going to talk about in this video is something called contracted WordPress website development. Now I can hear you right now before you say, but Mike, I can't make a website. How am I going to do that? Remember this one thing. The reason this opportunity exists, the reason other people aren't already doing this, is because so many people think they cannot do it. The truth is, anybody can make a WordPress website, even if they have absolutely zero experience. There's no coding, no complex network stuff, and I can show you everything in less than an hour. Honestly, it's as easy as making it like a PowerPoint slideshow or like a yard sale flyer. Like, it's just drag and drop. It's things that you already know how to do on your computer. But I personally know people who have paid $5,000 to $10,000 for a website. Like I said though, most people don't know this. So rather than building their own site, especially small businesses, they hire an agency, you, and they pay you huge amounts of money. I'm talking $5,000, $10,000 for a simple job just to make a basic website. And because there are really no expenses, it's nearly all profit, which makes it a really low-risk business to start. So how are we actually going to do this? Well, I've been making websites for many years now, and really, no matter what, you're going to have to choose where you're going to host it. There are a lot of hosts out there, but the one that we like to go with the most is called Hostinger. They're very reliable, they're very fast, and most importantly, they're very affordable. So you're getting high quality at a low price. So to get started, you can go through our affiliate link in the description below, or you could type in santrelmedia.com/Hostinger, and that's Hostinger, Hostinger. And if you hit enter, or if you just copy and paste that link, it'll take you to a page that looks something like this. And what we want to do is click on Claim Deal. It'll bring us down here. Now, there are 3 different packages you can choose from. It's worth reading through these and figuring out which one is actually the best for you. So you get a CDN for free with the more expensive one. You also get more storage, 200 gigabytes versus 100 gigabytes. You get daily backups versus weekly backups. Again, you don't have to go with the business plan. It's one I'm going to do in this video, but you know, it's worth remembering that this is just a tiny drop in the bucket for what you're going to be earning. Even just one customer is going to pay many 50, 100 times over what you're paying per month for this. So with that being said, I'm going to add this to cart, and then we can choose the duration of our plan. Starting off, the 1 month, you're actually gonna pay a setup fee with that. So it's an extra $5, so that makes it $21, and then it doesn't come with a free domain for 1 year, so that's another $15 or $20. You're gonna end up spending almost $40 for 1 month if you're going with that one. And then after that, every single month is another $15.99. So if you plan on doing this for more than 1 month, you might as well go up to the 12-month plan. And then the 12-month plan, $5 a month, not bad. This is the bare minimum I would go with. You still get that free domain, and it's, you know, locking in at $5 a month for the entire year. But then after 1 year, it goes up to $15.99. So you might as well lock in at $4 a month for 4 years. You get the free domain for the first year, there's no setup fee, and you're locking in that low price for 4 years. So that's, I don't know, that's what I always do. It makes the most sense to me. I'll show you how to get a discount code as well. And the discount code is one-time applied as well. So it applies 10% off for the entire 4 years versus just for 1 month. So again, it just makes so much sense to go for 4 years. And now we have to create our account. We're gonna make 2 accounts here, so I'm gonna use the same email for both. And then before we enter our payment details, make sure you click on this little have a coupon code and type in Santrel 10, say apply, and that'll take 10% off everything. So now it's $172. It's really, you're not gonna find a better deal than that pretty much anywhere on the internet. So now we can set up a password. Now we can click on Start Now and say that we are creating a website. The first one's gonna be for ourselves. So we're gonna say creating for ourselves. We are building it ourselves, and we're going to make, this is for a business, this is for ourselves. And we could say, no, I know what I'm doing, because like I said, I'm gonna show you in this video. Now, out of these 2 options, we're going to create a new website. So select create a new website. And again, we are going to be making this with WordPress. So select this. And now we're gonna make our second account. So remember, one account was for the hosting. This is going to be for Hostinger. And the second account is going to be for WordPress. Say continue, and now out of these plugins, I really don't like having a lot of plugins, so I'm gonna deselect pretty much all of these, and we can add them later. I'll keep Monster Insights, that's kind of a useful one. We'll say continue, and now we can say skip, I don't need a template. I'll show you a better way to get that in just a minute. That'll basically make your entire website for you, and all you have to do is change out some really basic information on there. Once again, I'm gonna skip this one. We're gonna make our own content later. We will create the free domain. This is, again, like I said, if you paid for at least 12 months and you got the more expensive plan, you will be getting a free domain. Now for your website domain, you could either use your name, you could use a fictitious name, or you could, what I usually do is I'll just go to ChatGPT and say, come up with like a dozen domain names that I could use that are available. So we get to say maybe OBR websites, obrwebsites.com, see if .com is available, obrwebsites.com, we're gonna search for that. And turns out it is available. So I'm gonna say continue, I'm gonna say next step, and finish registration. Say finish setup. And now it's gonna take maybe 5 or 10 minutes, go grab a cup of coffee, come back, and we're ready for the next step. And then once we are here, rather than just clicking on edit website, I wanna show you how to go to your website more directly in the future. So what I always do is go to a new tab, and we can type in our domain. So right now, whatever your domain is, you're gonna type that in. And I'm gonna say OBR websites.com, that's my domain, and then say /WP for WordPress -admin. This is going to take you to your admin login page. You'll type in your username and your password for WordPress, and then it'll take you to the dashboard right here. Now, this dashboard may look intimidating, but I promise it's actually really easy to use, and I'm gonna walk you through that right now. So the first thing we wanna do is get a website template. So we're gonna have to get our template by going down to Appearance, we're gonna go to Themes, and from themes, there are a lot of options. We're gonna click on Add New on the top, click on Add New, and you could search for Astra, or it's usually near the top, starting with an A, makes sense. We're gonna click on Install, and it's going to install the Astra theme. Now this is just a theme. The template is going to be something different. The theme is basically like the font packs and all the basic stuff that you have to work with. The template is the pre-made website we're gonna add in a minute that really does everything for you. So now we can click on Activate. Once it is activated, you can click right here where it says you can use starter templates. Let's say Get Started, and we can go to Build Your Website Now. We have 3 different ways you can build it. Now this is going to be the drag and drop editor we're using. The tool that I like to use is Elementor. We have a lot of coverage on this channel on some more detailed usage of that. I'll give you the basics in this video, but of course, like the more advanced stuff, I'll link that video down below. So let's click on Elementor, and now we can go down and we can choose from any of these. Now some of them are paid, but many of them are free. As long as they don't have the little premium flag there, they're pretty much all going to be free. So let's go down and find one. We can search for a portfolio would probably be the best. So let's say portfolio. Okay, so this one, it couldn't be any better than this. This is a web developer. Now, of course, you could choose any of them, but this is already going to be so similar to what we want. Web developer, so I can swap my photo in there, I can change my name in there. As we go down, a little bit of about me, maybe an example website would look really good right there, or some other stock footage or stock photos. Of course, here we can show what we're able to do. We can add some other content down here. Yeah, this is all, there we go, portfolio on the bottom with a slideshow. Okay, this is perfect. This is exactly what we want. And so we can just add a logo on the left side, or you can do that later. We don't really need that right now. If you want to make a logo, I highly recommend going to canva.com. You can make some really simple logos really, really quickly, or some advanced ones as well. We also have a link down in the description if you want to check out Canva. I'm just gonna say skip and continue. We'll get a logo later on. We can choose the color scheme. So I think this teal probably looks pretty good. We can choose the fonts. If you just click on that, there are quite a few different options down here. Montserrat and Lotto. That one seems more like a web developer. That seems like something I would use. We'll say continue, and now we need to tell them a little bit about ourselves, and they'll install this on our website. We'll leave all of those selected, except you don't have to share my data, and then I can say build my website. All right, the website is ready to go. If I click on view your website, you can see, like, overall, this looks really good for a template. Like, I can do a lot with this. I can build off of this pretty well. You can see it's already like so based on website building. I don't have to change a whole lot about it. Just put some of my own text in there. And the big thing is this right here, my portfolio. I'm gonna move that up higher so people can see examples of the websites that we make. But the truth is, as you can see right down here, the websites that we're making can be based on templates as well. All we need is to change the photos, to change some basic stock images and text on there, and we'll be ready to go. But this right here, okay, so we're gonna edit this. In order to do that, we can go on the top and you can say edit page. We can click on edit page, and let me close out of the other tab. We don't need those other tabs open. We're editing this page. Now this is editing using what's called Elementor, so we can close out of that, click on edit with Elementor, and I'll show you how to get to this again in the future if you ever want to go back to edit this page. Very easy to get to. But from here, let's close out of that. Elementor is like, that's what I said, this is like making a PowerPoint. It's really not hard to do. Everything's drag and drop. Okay, so let me give you a quick little rundown of what we're dealing with here. This is using what's called a section layout. Super common, most websites use this, and you can really tell the difference based on the backgrounds, but they're also outlined in pink. So this little background here that's shaded, that entire thing up there is one section. Below we have another section outlined in white, and then another one, and they kind of alternate colors. That's a really common technique there. And then this is a section down here, and within each section, you have different columns. So on the top, it looks like we have 3 columns. We have a column there, and a column there. So that's a really basic way to do things. And you can just put images or text or buttons or another image in each column. And you can change the spacing very easily. I'll show you that in just a minute. But if we go down, there are also, like this is all one column. But within this, we have what's called an intersection that has 3 columns. So we have 3 columns within that one column. And so that's kind of the way it works. So you have sections, you have columns, and then you have elements. It doesn't really matter if you know what they're called or not. All you have to do is double click on this and you can change the text. So we can say I'm a web developer, Mike O'Brien, and then here we can add some text. And again, rather than like sitting around and thinking of this yourself, we could just have ChatGPT write all of that for you, saves you a ton of time. And for any element that we want to change, when you hover over it, it outlines it in pink. And on the top right, there's a little pencil icon. If you click on that, we have this on the left side. We have 3 tabs here. We have content, which is going to be what is actually like what's visible right there, the text, the font size, what it is like a header, H1, or if it's a paragraph. The second thing is the style. You probably won't have to change the style all that much because it should be a theme throughout the entire website. And then we have advanced. Now over in advanced, that's gonna be more of like spacing. Does it show up on like desktop versus mobile? So if we go down here, for example, if we go down to responsive, you can say that, you know what, I don't want this header right here to show up on mobile phones. Maybe it doesn't look good on a mobile phone. You can just remove that. You can remove the photo, whatever you want. But let's take a look at another element. Let's say the button down here. If we click on the pencil icon, it'll show, first of all, what the text is. It says learn more. Maybe instead we want to say get a free quote. And maybe what you'd want to do is you just want to like quickly crank out somebody's homepage when they request and they see how good it looks, and then they want you to build the rest of their website. It's kind of a good lead generation there, I would say, where it's like a low barrier of entry, but there's many ways to get clients. That's just one of the ways you could do it during bidding. And then the link here, you want to, of course, add that. Maybe this could be a link to your email. Maybe it could be a link to another page on your website, but you can add all of that right here. We want to delete the little hash there, and we can type in our link right there. And then I promise I'm not going to go through every single element on here, but some of the main ones. The next one would be an image. If we don't want this image, we can once again click on the pencil icon, click on choose image. We can upload an image and then just have our own image there instead. And as you go, make sure you're always clicking the update button on the bottom. I'm not going to bore you with all of the content here. Like I said, use ChatGPT to write a lot of it for you. Get a lot of images from stock image sources that you're allowed to use to find images of yourself. Take photos of yourself and remove the background for free online. Canva does a good job with this. There's other background removal tools that you can use for like this up here. And overall, it should be pretty straightforward to make your first website. But now let's talk about this little thing down here, the portfolio. Now I want this to be higher. So all we have to do is click on the little 6-dot array and we can start dragging this up. So all you have to do is click on the 6-dot array and we can start dragging this up above everything else. So it's up there. Let's drag it above the next thing. Let's change the background of this by going to style, changing that to white. Say update. And now my portfolio, we have a little slideshow of some different photos there. These are screenshots of websites that we didn't make. But let's talk about how we can actually make some websites and kind of show them off on this. So we can say update right there. So now let's talk a little bit more about creating those example websites that you're going to use when you're building your portfolio. So what we want to do from Hostinger, you just go to hostinger.com or hpanel.hostinger.com, go over to domains. You should have one domain right now. If we click on manage, we should be able to add some new records. So what we're going to do is not going to cost any more money. We're going to make another website that uses the same domain. So that way we can build multiple websites. It won't cost any extra money, and we can use these as our portfolio and take screenshots of them. So in order to do this, on the left side, you'll see DNS/name servers. We can go down and add some new DNS records by going to CNAME. We can create a name for this one. So this is going to be whatever .ourwebsite.com. So let's just say we want this to be like test, just call this one test. And then the target is going to be my domain right now, which is obrwebsites.com. And now I can say add record. Now we can add another one. So if we go to CNAME and we can say this is going to be test2. Again, the same target is obrwebsites.com. And you might want to do that about 3 or 4 times. Now we can go back to websites and we can click on create or migrate website. Here we can say we skip, we don't want to personalize that. You guys probably recognize a lot of this. We'll say create a new website. We can create with WordPress with AI. This will actually save us a little bit of effort. We now need a new password and email. You could use the same email and password, but this is a new account because we are making a new website with a new WordPress account. And again, this one's going to be a really quick little demo website. Just throw some images and some graphics up there and some text so we can take a screenshot and use this one for our portfolio. So we'll say continue. We can say continue with that as well. We can skip this one. And now we can just say simple brand name. So I'm going to call this one Manayunk Lawn Care. We'll add a little description here. It'll save us a lot of effort. We'll say continue, and we can actually use an existing domain. Now here's where we're going to type in the domain that we just made. So it's not obrwebsites.com. Instead, it's test.obrwebsites.com because that's what we added in that CNAME record. So we'll say add this. It's going to be set up. It's going to use the existing domain. We'll say continue. And now it's going to initialize our website. And that'll bring you to this page here. So once again, as you'd expect, we can go to a new tab, type in the domain, so test.obrwebsites.com/wp-admin, and we will be able to sign in. So we'll log in right there. And then we have a brand new website right here. Again, this one's just going to be a little portfolio website, so we don't need to spend a lot of time doing anything with this really. We just want to quickly go to themes. We want to go and find Astra, so we're going to add new. So we'll go and add Astra, install Astra. Kind of rushing through this because you guys probably remember I did this a little earlier in the video. We're going to do basically the same thing. We're going to add a template, we're going to add a theme, and then we're going to add a template, and then we're just going to take a screenshot of that so we can use it on our own website. So we'll go, now that it is installed and activated, we can go over to Astra, and from here we can go and install starter templates. Once it is activated, it'll take you over here and we can say build your website now, again with Elementor, and we can just go down and find anyone we want. So maybe this one right here, this could be a great example of what our website is going to be. So we can skip through all this, maybe change it up a little bit, change the colors so that it's not, identical to this. You want to have it not recognized as being a template website. So we'll say continue, and we can say build my website. So now we can go back to test.obrwebsites.com/wp-admin, hit enter, and we can go down to pages. Then we can edit these pages, and like I said, we'll go back to the main website and share those screenshots on there. You can either make multiple websites with Hostinger very easily through the process I just showed you, or you can make multiple pages on this website and just share screenshots of that and just change your logo each time so it looks like a different website. The truth is you won't have a lot of websites at first, but you're going to build your portfolio as you go. As you get more clients, you can show off and start to replace this, but you have to have some example work before anybody's actually willing to hire you. So it's gonna take me maybe a couple hours to go and make these multiple different websites, take screenshots of them, and put them all down here so people can see what you're capable of, what your work actually looks like. But like I said, it's all actually gonna be based on templates, so super easy to do. It'll save you a ton of time. Just change out the photos and the text for different kinds of websites within the niche you are targeting. Now, a couple more things I want to point out within Elementor. If people are ever going to be visiting your website on a phone, on mobile, make sure you see what that looks like ahead of time. So if you go down to responsive mode, this bar appears on the top. We can tap on mobile portrait. this is what it looks like. And if we decide, hey, that giant photo of me just doesn't look good there, like I showed you before, you can click the pencil icon, go to advanced, go down to responsive, and just hide that on mobile. So no longer are they going to see that on mobile. Now it won't be grayed out either. It just won't be there. It'll go directly from this paragraph down to this right here. They can see your portfolio. Honestly, on mobile, I think that looks better anyway. So I'm going to update that. And now let's go back in responsive. Let's click responsive, go back to desktop. There we go. We're back in the desktop view. Now click on the little hamburger icon on the top left, click on exit, and then here, let's go back to the WordPress dashboard, click on apply. It looks like we want to update that, click on update. Always remember to update everything. Now we can exit to the WordPress dashboard. And now I want to give you a quick rundown of the WordPress dashboard, what we're dealing with here. So in WordPress, we have on the left, these are some of the main categories of tools we have. So we have our dashboard. This is going to change all the time. I usually don't do much in dashboard, but when you click on dashboard, a little subcategory is updates. Make sure you check that frequently and update everything. One quick little tip here is when you click on update, just wait until it says maintenance mode disabled, and then you can start messing around on your website. A lot of times people start updating and then they like hit back real quick because they remembered something or whatever, and your whole website gets locked up and you have to go and delete maintenance mode manually. Just wait until it says that. I'll give you an example right here. If we say update plugins, you'll get some text right there. It says update plugin, and then it says all updates have been completed. Now you're good to go. You don't have to worry about maintenance mode. Then going down the left side, we have our posts. If you have blog posts and you're trying to rank on Google, then this is one of the ways you would go and manage your different blog posts. You make each post very similar to making a website. You can use templates, or you could just make it independently, like just kind of build it from scratch using Elementor. Then really the last thing I have to show you within Elementor is if you want to add more elements, what you'd want to do is click on the little 9-dot array. This will appear on the left side, and then we can just click and drag. Say if I want a button over here, I can just drop a button right there and we can have exactly that. Then below posts, we have media. There's not a whole lot you have to do here. Pages is going to be pretty much everything on your website for this website in particular, where we have a contact page, we've got our home page, portfolio, and different things like that. And for each one, you have to go and edit those website or those pages individually. So like portfolio, for example, you can click edit with Elementor, and that'll bring us over to our portfolio page, which is linked on the top on our navigation. And we can customize all of this. Of course, don't forget to do any of these pages, because if some potential client goes to your site and accidentally navigates over to a page that has some Latin dummy text, it's not really a good look for you. So let's go back and click exit. But of course, if you don't like any of those pages, if you don't need, say, maybe like an about page, you can simply click on bin. I don't worry about comments, Elementor, templates, WordPress forms. A lot of that you're not really needing right now. I talk a lot more about that in my in-depth free training of WordPress. I'll link that down below. And like I said, we'll go into depth on Elementor and different things like that. But for this website, you really don't need any of that. Then if we go down to appearance, we can go to menus. This is the menu on the top. We also have one in our footer as well. And so the menu on the top right now has, first of all, something that's invalid. So I can click the little down arrow. I can remove that so we don't have any broken links on the website. And then if we want to change anything around, if we want to rearrange them, if we want to add some sub items, if we want to add more links to maybe like our socials or anything else, we can very simply like click on the left side, whatever we want. So if I want like the contact or portfolio, maybe both, I can say add to menu, and they're both added to the menu. Now they already exist there, so I can click the drop down and I can remove them. Now if I wanted to rearrange them, I can click and drag them up and down. And if I want to make contact a sub item that when you hover over portfolio, it appears below it, we simply drag it to the right, and now it's a sub item. When somebody hovers, that'll appear there. So if I save the menu, and then next, this is very, very important. Don't skip this part at all. Go down to settings, and there's a couple things we want to change here. So first of all, the site title, we don't want to just be our domains. We want this to be Mike O'Brien Website Development. And then we can have our tagline. Then we have our site address. Everything else looks good to me. The date, the time, weekday starts, we'll say save changes. And now we want to go and change the permalinks. So if we go down to the permalinks, we can change the structure there so that it is post name. So when we have a blog post, by default, it'll be our website.com/ the name of the blog post. It kind of organizes it better. Good for SEO as well. So I like to go with that. We'll save changes. So those are the fundamentals of how we'd actually go about making a website. In the future, you will be making websites just like this for other people. Very, very easy to do. Like I said, I have a full free training on how to use WordPress, including Elementor. It's on YouTube. It doesn't cost you anything, I promise. I just didn't want to put that in this video. So check out that video next. And the next steps will be to actually find clients. There are many ways to do that. Upwork is a very easy one. You can also cold email people. You could talk to local businesses and see if they need websites, show them your portfolio. You can bid on projects. There's a lot of ways to find clients. And of course, you need to find your pricing as well. Now, the pricing in the beginning, you probably want to start a little bit cheaper just so you get your foot in the door. You start to win some bids, and then eventually you can raise your price as you have more experience, as you have a bigger portfolio. And essentially, when you're getting started off, the pricing you'll want to use, just look at what other people in your area are charging. If you are working regionally or if you're working on Upwork, just keep an eye on what other people are charging and maybe charge slightly less just in the very beginning. Now, when you're actually making a website for a client, you have two different ways you could do this. You could either make a new hosting account with them and eventually just give them the username and password, or you can make a website within your own hosting account and then you can transfer it to them. You can migrate the website fairly easily. And so, I mean, the first one, making an account for them, very straightforward, very easy to do. That's basically everything I showed you in this video. But if you want to do the other method, you can go to websites, and just like I showed you before when we made that test website, we can go and create or migrate a website, and we can walk through this entire process this way, where we make the website here, again, like that little example website we made for the portfolio. Either way, it's two easy ways of doing this, and you'll make the website for the client, you'll probably send it back to them for several revisions, and it's going to be an easier way for you to manage everything within one hosting account if you do it this way. So I hope this video was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, please do consider liking and subscribing. So there you go. Good luck with your business, and I'll see you over in that free training.